Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here. It is nice out. Absolutely love it, man. I love it when it's really nice and warm out. Makes me so happy. But it is time for another epic Bakugan Geogan Rising episode review. So, all caught up, at least for the current time period, to number 9. So there's only going to be one episode with this because that's the furthest that it's at. So yeah, like I said, once this goes out, right now, let me know in the comments, do you guys want to see me do live reactions like how I do for the Beyblade series, or do you want me to continue with the review format like I've been doing? So yeah, either or. But yeah, just saying, fully caught up now, episode number 9, dude. So, getting into it, this episode was honestly really awesome. So, going right into it, ended off with the last episode. If you guys haven't seen it thus far, I'll give you 5 seconds to go and click away from the video. So, yeah, leading up to this point, the Awesome Brawlers ended off the last episode, episode 8, by going into the maze looking for Dan. Because, you know, Dan and Drago, when they had lost, were sent into the maze. Hence, like, what's been happening with all of the Bakugan. So, yeah, the Awesome Brawlers go in the maze. They pop out on another side, and they are in Vestroia, but it's like a coliseum-themed area, which is really, really cool. Definitely like an ancient voting ground. Like very, very ancient New Vestroia lands. It's really, really awesome to see this, man. So, yeah, getting into it, immediately they're just looking around, and they see a golden blast come at them. And the golden blast happens to be Spartillion. So Spartillion immediately attacks them and says that was a warning, sending the blast at them. And they're like, what was that all about? And so they start to fight Spartillion, and they roll out their Bakugan. And once they roll out their Bakugan, they get into this big old battle. But before they could even get started, Spartillion, it's so cool how smug he is because he's so powerful. But Spartillion goes in and is like, well, it's down to 4 now. Then they're like, what? One of the discs that Spartillion has hits one of the Bakugan. They're gone. Then he's like, now it's 3. Another one comes around, knocks out another Bakugan. Then he's like, now it's down to 2. Uses a move, sends out Hydrus. And now we're just down to Farasco and Fenneca. Pincetar and Falcron both got knocked down. I think Falcron was first, then it was Pincetar, then it was Hydrus. So now it's down to Fenneca and Farasco. And now they're about to get into a battle, and they say, like, oh, he's so strong. They realize that he's really, really powerful. I mean, he has a V-Power 700, so up there with the Great Council. So, yeah, man. Sorry, guys, I got a call. Also, I'm going to do like a 4th wall break for this one. That call was actually with Beyblades Are Burst. Anybody who's a big-time Beyblade fan, you'll know. But, yeah, getting into it. Spartillion's really, really strong, and he starts taking them out one by one. And it's down to Fenneca and Farasco. And so Spartillion's about to attack them and take them down. Because honestly, Spartillion's a beast. But then Drago shoots in with the Twisting Inferno and stops the attack. And then Spartillion says, oh, so it looks like you've recovered, okay? And then they're thinking that Spartillion's still the enemy. It never seemed like Spartillion was the enemy. Spartillion's just doing what he's told, you know. Because he was told to go and get Drago. Dragonoid of Pyrule. That's the way he says, like, Dragonoid of Pyrule. Maybe it used to be called, like, maybe it's a part of Vestroia, like Pyrule. Who knows? And he's the Pyrus faction. That would be kind of cool, and it would make it where they could have like a season 4 and go into big time depth of like just the different areas of Vestroia, if they are different worlds, in fact. But yeah, because there's still a lot of mysteries, whatever. A lot of mystery with Vestroia at this current moment. Even this far into the series, which is really, really cool. I love that they built it that much, and Vestroia is still that mysterious. But yeah, man. So, Drago's all healed up, and they ask where Dan is, you know, because they finally see Drago, they finally find him, and he's just like, oh, Dan's off doing important things, and then he's just like in the middle of this giant room sleeping. It was hilarious. And then he's like, oh, why'd you guys have to wake me up? I was having a really good dream too. And then they start explaining things with the Supreme Bakugan Council. So immediately hearing like Supreme Bakugan Council, immediately thought of like the Great Council, but they're actually not the same thing. They kind of tie together, but they don't. So the Great Council obviously makes up of Pyravian, Goreen, Shrino, and Tico. You know, they're all members of the Great Council. But I think Tico might still be in slumber. Or I don't think Tico might not. I don't think Tico's in slumber anymore because Pyravian is not in slumber, you know. But yeah, anyways, fast forwarding. The Supreme Council, like the Supreme Bakugan Council, is even a higher stature than the Great Council. So they meet in like a part of the maze, but the Supreme Council meets on Vestroia in this ancient area. And the members of this Supreme Council actually are Pyravian, Goreen. They're both a part of this this Supreme Bakugan Council. And there is a third Bakugan there. Drago never met him. So when they go in, you finally see this Bakugan, and this Bakugan's name is Villic. So Villic has been a Bakugan that's been kind of teased for a little bit. Like, people have been finding photos with Villic on it. And so we get Villic with this. So native faction is Arliss. I just love Arliss so much because of the depth and such there. Like, how much they have over complete control of Vestroia, like the ecosystem of Vestroia, the decisions that they make and such. And just being like a great council. I love the depth of Arliss, dude. It's so amazing. It makes me so happy. Heck yeah, man. Repping that Arliss tattoo, of course. But of course, having the Pirates and Darkest ones too. But yeah. Anyways, getting into it. Villic is a Bakugan. He's a golden Bakugan that kind of has older kind of styles and mentality, kind of like how Gorillon used to have. You know, but he's a part of the council. And so the council's together and they're doing a vote. They're talking about how humans have basically, it's the whole approach of this again, humans treating Bakugan like crap, and so voting to separate Vestroia and Earth, you know, getting rid of that link and such, and they're trying to vote on that. But Pyravian's the one that actually called Drago there. So Pyravian said that Drago could actually get back the, you know, the healing core cell. Because all the events with Gregorius Reed going over to Vestroia, taking the healing core cell, and then it exploding, and then the Geogan being released. And they mentioned how it's very serious how the Geogan were released. So Geogan are basically ancient creatures that lived alongside Bakugan. And like one day they just made the decision to up and leave Vestroia. So they were gone. But then Villic's like, you brought them back. You know, like this entity brought them back, this human. And then saying like, we have to protect all Bakugan from these greedy, evil humans. You know, so then he calls on a vote in the council to separate Vestroia and Earth, or not to. Like, to get the process underway. So Pyravian votes not to, obviously. Pyravian's got such a good heart and soul, it's a given. Always liked her. Thought she was really cool, and plus her design and everything, like, you know, just for Arliss Bakugan, they're all sick, but Pyravian, even just her morals and such are really, really awesome. And Goreen's the one that's still stubborn and in between, you know, so he votes towards separating the two. Because he's like, yeah, you humans are good ones, but still can't take that risk. And Villic's definitely against it, you know, so he's got the Gorillon type of approach. So yeah, imagine next season it's just another golden Bakugan that comes in that has this mentality. But yeah. Anyways, so they do a vote, and Drago interrupts it. He's like, the bond between humans and Bakugan is so important. It can reach levels of power and such that has never been seen before, and it can create new worlds and such. And this bond is very important. You can't get rid of this bond or anything, because it's what makes us stronger, and how we can battle stronger and bring out our full potential is having our partners. And Pyravian found it really moving, you know. And Villic and Goreen were just like, hey, they didn't change my mind. Stubborn, man. Crazy stubbornness. But anyways, At the very end of this first part of the episode, Pyravian nominates Drago to be a member of the Supreme Bakugan Council, because there was supposed to be 4 Bakugan with it, but there's only 3. Tico used to be a part of it, but obviously with how he did things to harm Bakugan in such well with the V-Virus, you know, and that mentality, seemed like he was kicked from the Supreme Bakugan Council. He's still a part of like the Great Council, which is like a level before, like below, but Supreme Bakugan Council, he doesn't have that seat anymore because of those actions. And so Pyravian nominates Drago to get that last seat. And then we get to the second part of the episode, and Drago says if it means keeping the link between humans and Bakugan, then there's no question about it. He's in. And they say, well, okay, but in order to do so, you have to pass a trial. So they put Drago through a trial. I'm going to take a sip of water. It's so good. The high quality H2O, yo. But anyways, they put him through a trial, and the trial features him facing off against some other Bakugan. He has to face 3 Bakugan, actually. These are like ancient Bakugan, and they're called the Oratoa. Basically, the Oratoa are like some of the big-time warriors or gatekeepers, like ancient gatekeepers of Bakugan, you know. So they're very ancient warriors, and so he has to defeat 3 of the Oratoa at once, like in one battle. But yeah, also Spartillion, everybody probably wondering what his role is. It showed with him, he was a messenger. He's basically a messenger for the Supreme Council, if I didn't mention that before. That's Spartillion's role. So yeah, really, really awesome. But now, fast forwarding back to the Oratoa. I would say this right now, Spin Master, if you're going to introduce this ancient Bakugan, like the Oratoa, this ancient people, definitely make a figure for it. Don't let it get the Tico effect. I'm calling it the Tico effect, because you got some really awesome Bakugan designs that never were made, man. Like, for real. Like, I'm going to name them up, you know? Like Artulian. At least we got, like, some kind of a homage to Apollyon with Claptor Apollyon, but Artulian, still nothing. Definitely should see a figure for it. Tico, hands down, my favorite Bakugan of the first season. Gorillion, one of my favorite Bakugan of the second season. Didn't get a figure. Definitely should make a figure for Tico and Gorillion. And also Artulian, you know. And now you got the Oratoa. Definitely should make them into a figure too. Like the Oratoa, they've got one single design, so just make a ball form for them with different factions. Like, come on, man. That's something I really, really want to see. Because these figures are really, really cool. The Oratoa looks sick. Also, they have a swirl on them. I've been watching a lot of like Zelda theory videos and such, and a lot of Zelda videos. I played a lot of Zelda, so it immediately reminded me of the Zonai because of the swirl. But yeah, anybody who's a Zelda fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways, getting into it, this really intense battle. They're all just rolling right at Drago, and that's their way of battling. They just roll like an actual Bakugan, like they're boulders. And so he's facing off against the Oratoa, and Drago's honestly struggling against them. So he manages to take out one of them, and Goreen's pretty impressed by it, saying, oh, he managed to defeat one, huh? But then Villick's like, it's just starting. And the thing with the Oratoa is that they read the movements of the opponent and use that to get stronger. So literally, it's like they observe them at first, and then over time, they just get stronger, and they have an immediate way of counterattacking. It's how they battle. So there's 2 of them left, and because they saw how Drago fought against the first one, the 2 start pummeling Drago and figuring out all his movements and such, and Drago can't really escape it. And Drago's down to, honestly, 25 B power, so he gets hit again, and it's over, and they lose. But then Dan starts looking around, and they're just like, what's he looking at? And then Pyravian's like, come on, Dan, because Pyravian knows the bond between like Bakugan and Brawler and trusts Dan big time. Seeing all the battles and such that Dan's gone through. I mean, Dan saved, you know, Dan helped save Pyravian when she was under the control of Sabra and Havoc, you know. But, yeah, man. So Dan's looking out, and then he immediately jumps over the barrier in this coliseum, and starts running up. And also, the design of this coliseum is sick. It's completely gold. Looks like it's made out of gold, and it's just like this awesome sacred battleground. And it's so cool, man. It looks so sick. But he's running up the steps in this coliseum, and they're like, "What is he doing?" So there's actually a Bakugan at the top. I'm fast forwarding actually a little bit. Before this happens, I know I'm doing a little bit out of order, but realize that this happened actually before. After he beats the first Bakugan, is down to 25 B power. Drago sends out, Dan and Drago, they send out Archelion. I don't remember the name, but they send out Archelion, their Geogan, and Archelion uses this big attack and manages to take out one of the other soldiers, but it's still down to just Drago and one of these Bakugan. So it's Drago versus this last Oratoa warrior, and then that's when Dan runs up, because by this point Archelion vanished, because managed to take out one of them, and it's only getting one big hit in, and then it says, "Your wish has been granted." It disappears. Now it's down to Drago and this last Oratoa warrior. And then that's when Dan jumps over the barrier and runs up, because he sees a Bakugan, and he throws it out to Drago. And with that, Drago uses one more move and manages to defeat the last Oratoa warrior. So Dan and Drago win, and everybody's shook. Gorian's like, he actually managed to beat him. And then they're all like, he won. Whoa, that was intense. Rawr! Lightning. But, yeah. Then Pyravian says, Dan and Drago, they won. Drago has won this battle. So now, Villock, accepts it. And now Drago is the 4th member of the Supreme Bakugan Council. So he has a lot of power now. Drago is not one that would abuse it or anything. But, yeah, man. So, that's where the episode basically ends off there. And my thoughts on it, definitely enjoy just the build up and getting a little bit of the backstory with this Supreme Bakugan Council. Like, it seems like this is the real highest figure, maybe, or maybe in the next season they'll have another higher figure, but it seems like this is kind of the highest figure on Destroya, because they make all the decisions of things. But yeah, dude, so Villock's definitely interested in like the bond of like humans and Bakugan, like a little interested in that. So I'll make a little prediction of what would be cool for this series, like going forward. Like, you obviously have Gregorius Reed out there. He's fascinated by the Geogan and such, but maybe he realizes that there's a single Bakugan that's extremely powerful and tries to use that Bakugan to his advantage at the end. So we get this crazy build up with like the Awesome Brawlers, and then Gregorius Reed and his group, and then also the Supreme Bakugan Council getting involved because things are getting really, really wild. So the Awesome Brawlers need as much help as possible. But then we get a similar type of approach with how we got with Season 2. So some of the Supreme Bakugan Council helping with the fight, but the evil possibly being like Gregorius Reed does something to get control of one of the members of this council, which definitely Villock would be my best guess, for it. So yeah, imagine like this combo, Gregorius Reed and Villock, and then Villock sees like this, they're talking about this bond between Bakugan and Brawler, but then it's like an evil bond, kind of, because Villock's motives, and then they get misconstrued, and Gregorius Reed brings them out. That would be really, really wild, dude. And then we see Villock's power at its absolute maximum in an actual battle, and they have to take out Villock, because this council, we know how strong all of them are. We saw how much the Awesome Brawlers were struggling even against Martillion. So, yeah, but imagine Villock turning evil along with Gregorius Reed, and those two having kind of a bond, and then that being the big build-up towards the end of this. And literally both worlds at stake once again, but it's a crazy, crazy level of stakes for it. And then he also uses Geogan with it too, because Gregorius Reed has accessibility to Geogan, also the maze and such. But yeah, so that'll be a really, really sick build-up. But yeah, guys, anyways, those are kind of my thoughts on, episode 9 of Bakugan Geogan Rising. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm really stoked to see how they're going to go with the rest of the series, and I really hope they just make some of these Bakugan that they've had shown up in the show, that they haven't made into actual figures, because considering they made Syndius Ultra, like Ventus Syndius Ultra, they made actual Ultra Ventus Knight here, and also the Arliss version, why not do that with some other Bakugan? You know what I mean? So, yeah. just really hoping they do include some of these Bakugan that they haven't made into actual ball forms, because like I said, them bringing in Syndius Ultra and the actual packs, why not repackage some Bakugan like that? You know, even some Bakugan they had scrapped before. Put them in with these packs. They don't have to include them in the show. They can just put them in the packs, and it's a way of selling the packs, because you get some of these scrap Bakugan in there. It will still be the only way you could really get them, and you know, more money for Spin Master. Yeah, Bakugan. Whoa. But yeah, because there's some of these scrap Bakugan that people would absolutely love, and also Bakugan that haven't even been made that people would love to see. So yeah. Also, Spin Master, I love you guys so much. Definitely just want to see cards. I know I mentioned it a lot, but like the TCG is so important and big time hype for cards. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this review on Bakugan Geogan Rising, episode number 9. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the episode as well. And once again, let me know going forward if you want to see me continue with the review style like this, or if you want to see me actually do live reactions, because, you know, just watching an episode, I pick up on things like right away, just like how I do with the Bakugan show. So, yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, till next time, it is your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, stay awesome and Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here. Hello, truck.